There's a reason that your DP, gaffer, or AC sends you a carefully considered gear list. It's a strategic blueprint built around your creative vision and how the crew plans to execute it, all while being mindful of budget and efficiency. Too often, those lists get trimmed, swapped, or handed off to a cheaper rental house with little to no communication. I once spent hours assembling a gear list for a shoot that involved flying a heavy cinema camera on a gimbal. I spent a long time selecting one that could handle the weight capacity. Production sent the list to a completely different rental house. We received accessories that didn't work together, and a gimbal that was too small for our camera, which honestly was something that the rental house should have flagged, but gear was picked up by a PA and nobody realized the issue until it was too late to do anything about it. We had to scrap a good chunk of our shot list, and this was all just to save a few $100. When production makes substitutions without consulting the crew, they might overlook the interconnected nature of gear. For example, equipment like easy rigs might have multiple mounting styles, clamps, ball heads, and they have to match the rest of your rig. A follow focus motor might require rails, brackets, or power options that aren't obvious unless you've built the setup before. And even small swaps like changing a monitor or a mat box can throw off power distribution, rig weight, rigging logistics, etc. And the result being that you lose time, you burn through your budget anyway, and your team is forced to MacGyver solutions on the fly. And worst of all, it compromises your vision. And now let's talk about another common pitfall: pricing out a crew member's gear package, then renting the same stuff from a cheaper rental house. You're not just comparing the prices, you're also comparing experience and efficiency, because somebody who owns their gear package, they know their gear inside and out, they have it pre-organized and ready to roll, and it saves you time on unboxing, labeling, setup, troubleshooting, etc. When you rent from an external rental house, you have to budget extra time for your crew to go through it, check for missing items, get it prepped. And so I always end up building that time into my schedule when renting. And time is money. That rig that takes 20 minutes longer to set up each time, that's money. That's missed shots, that's an unhappy client or director. That being said, don't fall into the trap of assuming that only crew with full equipment packages are worth hiring. Many seasoned professionals routinely rent on a per project basis. That's the standard on most major productions, and for a good reason, because not every shoot calls for the exact same camera or lighting setup. And this can be especially true for cameras. I find it's better to select them on a per project basis. Owner-operators might offer unique advantages in speed and familiarity, but don't overlook or undervalue skilled crews simply because they rent, and also don't assume that the gear package that one of your crew members might happen to own is automatically the best fit for your project. The key here, though, is to trust their expertise and consult them before making gear decisions. Even as a DP, I would never, ever, ever feel comfortable modifying another DP or gaffer's gear list. Gear is selected for very specific reasons, and even with years of experience, I can't possibly assume that I could guess their creative or technical intent. Your crew isn't trying to spend your money. We're trying to protect your shoot and your vision.